Talbot's triangular eye drawing, on his horns page, appears halfway through Robert Galbraith's Troubled Blood. The drawing itself looks a lot like an upside-down, Deathly Hallows symbol, the most famous symbol from the Harry Potter series. Looking at Talbot's drawing, we see a large upside-down triangle with goat horns springing out from the base of the triangle. In the middle of the larger triangle is a smaller upside-down triangle with an eye in the middle. Here we literally have what Hermione calls in Deathly Hallows, a triangular eye. Directly underneath the eye is the marking for Capricorn. Capricorn translates from the Latin goat horn, which is symbolized by the horns springing out from the larger triangle. The zodiac Capricorn is usually depicted as half-horned goat and half-fish tail. Here in Talbot's drawing, the fishtail is missing. Talbot had drawn it earlier on the water sign page. It is also worth noting that Capricorn is often associated with the god, Pan, who was also half-goat and known as Pan the progenitor, symbolizing fertility and springtime. If we look closely at the drawing under the serpent, we get words from Aleister Crowley: "The wicked are estranged from the womb, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies." Zooming out, we can see that Talbot's drawing also takes on the shape of a womb. The horns of the goat symbolizing fallopian tubes, with the 4 egg-shaped symbols from the Thoth Tarot deck symbolizing 4 children. The largest on the left, in the shape of 5 rose petals, is from Crowley's Thoth Tarot, Hierophant card. Spoilers for all 7 strike books ahead. At the center of the womb are the astrological letters for Capricorn and an all-seeing eye. An eye that is similarly found on Crowley's Thoth Tower card. Are we being shown that the true seer of all is Capricorn? Does Capricorn being at the center of the womb mean that he is a father of one of the kids? After all, the goat horns of Pan represent fertility, and the one explicit Capricorn, major character in the Strike series, is Uncle Ted, and his wife, Aunt Joan, was infertile. In the Leda and the Swan myth, Leda is raped by Zeus and has 2 sets of twins. At the bottom of the upside-down triangle we get a drawing of the Fool. With Crowley's, the Fool is Silence, the twin of horns. Here we have 4 egg shapes in this womb, 2 on each side. Leda Strike had 3 kids we know about: Strike, Lucy, and Switch. But what if Leda had a 4th? Or, Strike was a twin and as a giant baby he survived, while his twin sister did not. A foolishly kept secret by Joan and Ted. Speaking of secrecy, why does J.K. Rowling decide to put a giant drawing that looks like an upside-down Deathly Hallows at the center of one of her 2 central books of a 10-book series? As Xenophilius Lovegood draws the symbol, "The Elder Wand," he said, and he drew a straight vertical line on the parchment. "The Resurrection Stone," he said, and he added a circle on top of the line. "The Cloak of Invisibility," he finished, enclosing both line and circle in a triangle, to make the symbol that so intrigued Hermione. "Together," he said, "the Deathly Hallows." Here on our horns page, we get 2 upside-down triangles potentially symbolizing the Cloak of Invisibility. Who in the Strike series knows how to make themselves invisible? An invisible Capricorn? What's missing from the Capricorn triangle with horns? A fish's body. Who had a career as the local lifeguard and loves to fish? A Capricorn, Uncle Ted. In the tale of the 3 Peveril brothers, it was when the brother who had the Cloak of Invisibility, quote, had attained great age that the youngest brother finally took off the Cloak of Invisibility and gave it to his son. Uncle Ted, Capricorn, is cloaked as a former SIB Red Cap officer. Strike followed in his uncle's footsteps and became a Red Cap, Ted encouraging him on. Strike put on his uncle's Cloak of Invisibility. And the Capricorn all-seeing eye at the center of the triangle is that symbolizing Ted, at the center of the womb, the all-knowing truth, that he is both uncle and father to Strike. It is this truth, as a sort of resurrection stone, that can bring the true leader back from the dead. A peripatetic mother always on the run from her own brother, mother to a son, Corm, she truly loved, but yet constantly reminding her of her trauma. Finally, to the elder wand, here replaced by the serpent, as quoted by Psalm 58, their poison is the poison of the serpent. Directly above this horned-shaped serpent we get Crowley. Horns are the universal hieroglyph of energy, particularly of phallic energy. Here the serpent depicted in motion is returning to the center of the womb, marked by Capricorn, and completing the mirror of an upside-down Deathly Hallows symbol. Like Antioch Peveril was the first to possess the Elder Wand, but was later killed in his sleep by a murderous wizard, it was the serpent's poison that put Leader Strike to sleep. This brings us to the Master of Death, the possessor of all three Deathly Hallows in their possession. It was thought, possessing all three Deathly Hallows would make someone immortal, but Dumbledore says, quote, "The true master does not seek to run away from death. He accepts that he must die, and understands that there are far, far worse things in the living world than dying. It is for this reason that Dumbledore says to Harry, 'You are the worthy possessor of the Hallows.'" This brings us to the only place in J.K. Rowling's writings where her tattoo is given a definition, the alchemical phrase solve, et coagula. Here it is defined by the author as, no resolution without breaking down. Like Harry, breaking down in Dumbledore's office after dealing with the death of his uncle Sirius, there cannot be a resolution to the Strike story, without Strike breaking down, accepting the truth about these Deathly Hallows on Talbot's Horns page, as I've laid out. To repeat, as Dumbledore says about the Hollows, there are far, far worse things in the living world than dying. Strike must first come to terms with the fact that he is troubled blood, before we can see this story come to a resolution.